You know, we throw around the word leadership all the time, but what if our common understanding of it, the one we all grew up with, is completely wrong? Today we're going to deconstruct what leadership truly is, and we'll start by busting some of the biggest myths that hold us back.
So, what really makes someone a leader? Is it just about having a fancy title, or the corner office with a nice view? Or maybe it's just being the smartest person in the room? For the next few minutes, I want you to just set all that aside. We're going to strip this whole concept of leadership down to its absolute essential core.
To really get what leadership is, we first have to be crystal clear about what it isn't. So let's dive in and start tackling some of those common myths.
We do this all the time. We see someone with a bit of authority or someone with a really brilliant idea, and we automatically call them a leader. But here's the thing. A position does not equal leadership, and having a great idea is not the same thing as having influence. Let's break down why.
Okay, let's start with the biggest misconception of them all, the management myth. See, management is all about keeping the trains running on time. It's about maintaining systems and processes. Leadership, on the other hand, is about inspiring people to want to follow a certain direction. The former CEO of Chrysler, Lee Iacocca, had this great analogy. He said, a manager can be like someone walking a big dog, just kind of waiting to see where the dog decides to go. A true leader? They're the one who charts the course for the dog to follow.
And oh, the myths don't stop there. We fall for the entrepreneur myth, assuming every startup founder is a great leader. Or the knowledge myth, thinking the person with all the facts is in charge. Or even the pioneer myth, that whoever's first out of the gate must be the one leading the charge. But the biggest one of all, the one that trips up so many people, is the position myth, this idea that a title is what makes you a leader. Let's just be super clear about this. A title on an organization chart might give you authority, but it does not automatically make you a leader. Real, genuine leadership, that's something that has to be earned.
Okay, so if leadership isn't about your position or your title, then what in the world is it? Well, let's get to the real definition.
This right here, this is the core idea. John C. Maxwell calls it the law of influence, and it's beautifully simple. The true measure of leadership is your ability to influence others. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. If you don't have influence, you can't lead. It doesn't matter what your business card says. Just think about this for a second. Back in 1994, Mother Teresa is speaking at the National Prayer Breakfast, and she gets up there and speaks out very strongly against abortion, directly challenging President Clinton and the First Lady, who were sitting right there and held the complete opposite view. Now, in any other setting, with pretty much any other speaker, that would have been met with some serious hostility. But people listened. They really listened. Why? Because the speaker was Mother Teresa. She didn't command an army. She didn't run a huge corporation. Her leadership came from pure, unadulterated influence, built on a lifetime of service and a character that was just unimpeachable. People followed her because of who she was. So, if we agree that leadership is influence, what does that actually mean in practice? Well, this brings us to a really critical concept called the law of the lid. Let's travel back to the 1940s. You have two brothers, Dick and Maurice McDonald. They came up with this brilliant, streamlined restaurant concept. It was a huge local success, and they were making a pretty respectable profit. They were, without a single doubt, fantastic managers. But their leadership ability, their influence, was limited. They had what you might call a lid on their potential. All they could really imagine was one single great restaurant. Then along comes Ray Kroc. Now, Kroc wasn't a better restaurant operator, but he was a phenomenal leader. His lid was sky high. He saw their little system and immediately pictured it scaled across the entire country. And the result? Under Ray Kroc's leadership, McDonald's didn't just grow, it absolutely exploded to over 31,000 restaurants worldwide. That is the staggering, mind-blowing power of a high leadership lid. So here's the crucial takeaway from all this. Your ability to influence. It literally acts as a lid on your overall effectiveness. It doesn't matter how talented or smart or hardworking you are. Your ultimate success is always capped by your ability to lead. And this leads us perfectly to our next principle. If influence is what puts a lid on our potential, how does that influence actually work? Well, the answer is in something called the law of buy-in. Now, this is a really crucial insight, and it's a bit counterintuitive. We tend to think that a great vision or a worthy cause is enough to get people to rally around it. But that's backward.
People don't follow a cause first. They follow a worthy leader who then champions that cause.
The process is actually really simple, but it's incredibly profound. Step 1. People have to buy into you. They have to trust your character, believe in your competence. Only then, once that's established, do we get to step 2, where they'll buy into your vision. Without trust in the messenger, the message itself just falls flat.
Mahatma Gandhi is just the perfect example of this. I mean, the vision of freeing an entire nation through nonviolent resistance was, well, it was a radical idea. But millions of people committed to it. They sacrificed everything because they first bought into him. They trusted his character and they believed in his conviction. The leader came first, and only then did they fully embrace the vision. Okay, so we know leadership is influence. We know this influence creates a lid on our potential. And we know that people buy into the leader before they ever buy into the vision. The big question now is, what can we do about it? How can we raise our own lid?
And here is the absolute best news of all. Leadership isn't some mystical trait you're just born with. It's not a title, it is a collection of skills. And because skills can be learned, it means that anyone, and I truly mean anyone, can grow their influence and become a better leader.
So how do you start? Well, you have to treat it like a daily process, not some one-time fix. You can begin by just intentionally finding ways to add value to the people around you. Cultivate some self-awareness, like Benjamin Disraeli said. Knowing what you don't know is a huge first step to gaining knowledge. And above all else, focus on your character. Your integrity and your honesty, that's the bedrock of trust, which is the foundation of all influence. And finally, just be yourself. People don't follow a perfect, polished leader. They follow a real one. Every single one of us has a lid, a ceiling on our current effectiveness. So the question isn't whether you have one. The real question is, what are you going to do about it? Starting today, how are you going to lift yours? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.